Two. What do we have? Oh, okay.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Good. I was quiet there for a couple of minutes while Chris was talking about
All right. Good. You can go. We have enough.
So what,
Hi,
we
Chris.
have two sets of, we have,
Thanks. You too.
September,
Happy New Year.
October, and December.
September, right, wanna go to October, see what we got.
Well, let's start at September, that's the oldest.
We go that, oh, yeah. Oh,
So September, we've got me, Chris,
It just was the numbers.
we got enough for September.
Yep. We're first couple pages, we're just going to minutes of September, which should be hopefully the first in there, unless I did them backwards.
yeah, okay, they got it.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I couldn't remember which way I did them, so.
Up for October.
Then we're good too.
Good, yes, good. Make a motion.
Uh, motion that we accept, September 9th, 2024, the meeting.
Second, someone,
I'll second it.
open a second. Further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes.
Ready to keep going?
Yeah, go for it.
Motion to accept the minutes of October 15th, 2024.
Second somewhere, Mr. Sisley, second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Abstain, motion
Sorry, who made the
passes.
motion? I missed the motion.
Bob Sisley, second, and he made it first.
Got it. Thank you.
Now we're on to December, which is next.
Well, Vince, Chris, we're okay, yeah, we're good. All right, motion to accept the minutes of December 2nd, 2024.
Second, Mr. Campanelli, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Abstain, motion passes. Minutes are done, public comments, research.
Sure, absolutely. John Gagus is here. He is one of the owners of, it says 754 Rod Road, even though that's the building itself. It's actually the land next to 758 4 Rod Road, which is the field. You have a blow up of the plans that they have put forward to wetlands and P&Z, but I wanted John to come in and kind of talk about it. I've known John for a while. If anybody recognizes John, he is one of the big players down at Stancam down on Berlin Street. They've been doing a lot of work down there, but this is completely different. But John's been a friend for a while, so I thought it made sense for him to come in and talk about it, kind of get the support of this body, because they're looking to do something that I wanted someone to do for a while. So the floor is yours, my friend.
John, you're one of the principals?
Yes.
Okay, and are you the only principal? Or
No,
there's a whole
There's
group?
two of us,
There's two of you, okay.
just
Thank
two,
you, sir.
I believe Sal's on.
If
So my partner's actually not.
Sal, if that's you, if you want to throw your face on the screen, you can. It's up to you.
Say hi.
Or say hi, whatever. That's okay.
Fine. I can do it. Fine. So, well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time this evening and let me kind of bring you up to speed. As Chris mentioned, this is the piece of property that the town has been working to keep as an industrial piece of land, correct? For a long time. So when we first learned about the property, my partner and I looked at it. As he said, I work in town for the last almost 8 years at Stanley. I learned to work with this town incredibly well. We got some great people in town, and that's what really drew me to, whether it's Maureen or Jim or Steve, dealing with Steve Wozniak. So for me, that's really one of the key things that enticed me when my partner brought this to my attention. And then I've known Chris, as he said, for the last 4 or 5 years through Stankin. So this piece of property is a beautiful little piece of property. 8 acres. If you ever, I'm sure you've all driven by it, just sitting there.
I noticed round bales.
That's it. So, it is industrial, but it is surrounded by homes on both sides, Norton and the Ford Rod Road side. But the town wants to keep it industrial. So with that, we talked a lot with Chris and came up with a concept that we've been working with P and Z and the building department to make sure when we submit tomorrow for the wetlands, that everything that was required is going to be in there, and then it will hopefully become a very easy process until we get the P and Z. Again, from our standpoint, well, our goal is over the next couple of years to build what you see in front of you. And we're gonna, day one, our goal is we're gonna build one building. Then shortly after, we're talking months, build 2 to 3 more based on the demand that we strongly believe. I've done a lot of investigation of due diligence on this. You can't find these anywhere in the state right now. There is a backlog anywhere you go, from Meriden to Thomaston to Glastonbury, and there's one more, and yours are all gone. There's nothing available here. So in central Connecticut, and especially off of the turnpike, this is a very viable business
John, you
opportunity.
currently own it. You've closed and you own
I
it.
own, Sal and I own the property,
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
So we also have the banking relationship in place. They're waiting for the approvals for the next phase. So we're looking to invest anywhere from $7 to $10 million over the course of the next couple of years to build these 8 buildings. And what the plan is for us to go after, and Chris has written a wonderful letter. And what are we going after? You know, small plumbing, small electrical, small flooring, industrial repair, commercial service, fire suppression, compressors, HVAC, carpentry, light construction, light manufacturing, all falls under the permit for this piece of property. So we've got a very targeted marketing plan to go after these. My partner Sal is in the construction business. I grew up in the construction business, so we know a lot of people, and we're already getting some initial inquiries to fill the first building. First building will have 6 units. We're going to call them industrial units. That's really what they're going to be.
How many square feet?
And they're somewhat custom, but the core buildings are going to be 1,500 square feet each.
So John, with respect to all the buildings, are you gonna build the buildings and sell them off? Or you're gonna retain ownership and you're going to have tenants that rent from you? Or they're gonna be condo-ish?
No condos. We're gonna own the buildings.
Okay.
Our plan is to build them and then lease them out for a foreseeable future. We're not looking to build and sell. Now, somebody comes in and offers us something over and above what we think it's going to be worth, and obviously we look at that. But this is more of a long-term. I've got 2 sons. Goal is to bring them into this as well. Sal's got young kids, so when I get really old, Sal, then they can come into the business at that point too. So that's our plan.
Okay, so with respect to each building, I think there's 8 buildings on the plan. How many different tenants roughly per building are you talking?
And that's where we want to be flexible. And then talking with Chris, that's one of the marketing tools that we want to have. So if we find a light manufacturer that wants 10,000 square feet, we've got it available. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to bring all the infrastructure and the support, whether it's the electrical, the plumbing, the sewer, and the fire suppression into each of the buildings, stub it out, leave it there. And as the next phase comes in, the next phase could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. There are going to be prefabricated buildings. So one of our other semi-partners, because we've worked with him for years, he's going to be doing all the groundwork. So he's going to do all the excavating and all the work for laying the pipe and bringing everything from the street onto the property. So we're gonna do that and then prep every building. I met with Steve Wozniak, gave us some great input on what to do and potentially what not to do. And we're gonna look at that based on what the building requires. So some buildings, as crazy as it sounds, might not require sprinklers based on what the tenancy is. So if we don't, we might put it in anyway. It depends on what we end up doing and how big or how long the lease is for. So we might end up doing that. But we don't need to theoretically based on the tenant and what the actual usage of the property is going to be. But the initial one's going to have it. So we're gonna have 6 units and we're gonna go to each unit and then bring the fire suppression right to that. And then as we're bringing the other ones in, we'll stub out to those other building sites, as you can see in front of you. And then based on when the next phase is gonna come, it could be 6 months later, it could be 6 weeks later. I want to see what the demands are.
The other question I have for you, John, is you had mentioned a moment ago prefab buildings.
Mhm.
So if we sit here tonight, what are the buildings look like? Are they metal butler buildings? Are they masonry buildings? Are they cinder block buildings?
Yeah.
What would the buildings look like?
The building's gonna look, Sal, are you there? Can you hear me? He's the expert on this one. I can answer, but he doesn't want to talk tonight.
Well, prefab only comes a few ways,
Yeah.
right?
So
just
it's more of a
let us
Butler
know.
building, so they're gonna drop the building right on site. On the preset concrete slab that we built. And then we're gonna come up on the outside, we're looking at what to do, and that'll be presented.
It's not pre-engineered or prefab,
Pre-engineered and prefab,
but they're actually gonna be constructed together.
yeah.
Site.
So what we're gonna do is build it, and then what we're gonna do is individually break up each physical location based on what
Everybody needs
the
it.
tenant's gonna need.
Oh.
So there might be a tenant that's going to want 2 units. They're gonna want 3,000-4,000 square feet. So we'll build that wall in between, and then the balance of the building will be made to, let's just say 1,500 square feet to add up to the 6 units for the balance of the building.
John,
So you're saying you just put the shell up and as
Correct.
the tenants come.
The shell has the ability to be
Divided up inside.
divided based on what the needs of the individual businesses will be. Correct.
And they'll all be flat roof,
No,
or they're pitch roof? All pitch roof.
Well, you won't be, it'll be a slight bit.
Slight.
No, nobody makes a flat, yeah.
So you said you start with one, does that mean you're starting in the corner?
Yep.
And the existing building there? The auctioneer used to be in is right near there, right?
Yep, yeah,
On the
there's,
top part.
yeah, you can see like the kind of the outline of the building on the top left of the page there.
Yeah.
But yes, there is a break between the 2 properties there of some degree.
you already went through wetlands, you said,
No, much more now. Wetlands hasn't met 2 months.
is that right?
2 meetings have been postponed.
Your
Health issues.
groundwater, what are you doing with your groundwater?
This bottom portion. Here, I don't want to get into wetlands tonight, but
Yeah.
we built a swale back here, so everything is gonna be. The culvert is gonna end up here, and all this is gonna be piped to. Wherever it needs to go from an engineered standpoint.
You're not gonna put a retention area in?
That's the retention area.
Oh, in this
Yeah,
section?
in that little corner right there.
Oh, okay, cause I know that's wetland,
That's where it's gonna be.
so it's acceptable to take your groundwater and
Mhm.
put it there, okay,
Because our engineer's been meeting with
oh,
with
good,
Jim Orville.
okay.
Johnson McDonald.
Yeah.
My suggestion I could make, which you probably already know this. But I'll say it anyway. Put all your piping in. For the toilets and so forth, right down the line, because you don't know where you're gonna divide it up and when. Okay, I'm sorry, I
No.
already know that
that's a-
stuff.
And the plan is every unit will have a bathroom and an office. That's the plan for each
Yeah,
of these
okay,
units.
good.
But depending on what somebody wants, we'll could then come back to the
Yeah.
town and say, hey, we're gonna build a second floor for them inside if they really want.
And don't want you digging up the.
No, no, that's why we're gonna do all the plumbing
Yeah, okay, good.
beforehand for everything.
Forgive me, this.
No,
telling
I
your business.
appreciate,
Great concept here, you know? Yeah,
It is a nice spot to live.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, I'd say negative, that might have.
yeah, I mean,
bad neighborhood, huh?
I mean, part of it is too, is, I mean, potentially you could throw a 80,000 square foot box here. Big, I mean, 80,000 square feet distribution center, something that would make the neighbors lose their mind.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this is, and I've talked to a number of real estate folks myself, is there really is every building out there, ugly and otherwise, except for maybe the one down the bottom of the street here, is leased. Industrial's going, and again, because during probably the 90s and somewhat in the 2000s, a lot of industrial buildings were flexed over to, you know, like in Bloomfield, industrial building became an office building or retail building. And I think we're one of few towns that actually not just allow, but my own opinion, want to see the HVAC guys of plumbing, electrical. If you look at the development right next to Pete's building, there's 8 buildings that are up there and no buildings either on the market or vacant for more than 6 months. So you know that there's not a lot of space around, and I think this is a nice spot too, because I would guess there's probably 10 to 15 contractors that are currently in their neighborhood, and either the spouse or the neighbors at some point are going to be at the point, we've had enough of the diesel trucks at 6 o'clock in the morning. But it also gives an opportunity even for folks that are outside of town, Berlin residents, to come back in again, which we've seen to some degree with Priority and with Air Temp. But this could be a load of everybody to come back, which would be tremendous.
This is pretty much what they got up the road too. So you pass
is.
the flag building, and they got those 2 little complexes that are very similar to this.
Yep. Yeah, Douglas Mechanical is in the ones that, I want to say it's 810 to 822, and then the ones next to Peter 600. So this will be right in the middle. And yeah, it fits incredibly well in the area. And I know from the perspective of talking to some of the folks that have located down there, yeah, they like the fact that they're not the main drag, but they can get everywhere they need to very quickly.
I think it's a great spot. We have a need for it. I think where you wanna look is maybe bring a picture of one of the buildings to your zone. The way that you can, at least the ones that are facing roads, soften them up to make a little more residential.
We're-
You're gonna have a
we
lot
understand
less head button from the, and look, we understand. Cause this is a need and it's a good opportunity to do over there.
We are not gonna put up, excuse the language, cheap ass building. That's not what I do. If any of you remember Stan Chem 10 years ago, so when I joined with our team, we're a radically different business now. Chris has been there, your mayor's been there, your town manager's been there, Maureen's been there, Steve. So we encourage that, and that's when we invested tens of millions of dollars to fix the things that should have been fixed for a long time, with our neighbors in mind, with our reputation in mind, with the Mattabesset River right next to us. So those are things I was the driver, I'm the senior vice president. So I'm the one that had to make that happen. Not because we were forced to, we weren't. Because it was not only was the right thing to do, but that will bring you better long-term relations with the town. And in the end, make you more money. That's my philosophy. So the same thing here, if Maureen wants me to put up Japanese walnut maple trees that are only, I had to put stuff around we built a 10,000 square foot. Basically, it's a combination warehouse garage on our site. And it was a tough build because of wetlands, because of floodplain, because of God knows what. That's a tough property. And we were able to get this 160 by 660 building in. And by this, we had the encroachment of the other property behind us. So, we're landlocked there. We got our friends at the Water Authority on this side. We've got the Mattabesset River on this side. We got Route 9 this way. So we really don't have that much land, but we found a way to make it work. And that's because the town really worked with us. I can't say enough. I've been doing this a long time. Not every town is like this. I say that all the time. I live in Middlebury. Middlebury is not like this. Okay? Watertown is not like this. I'm a Waterbury boy. Waterbury, forget it. I would not. I'd never buy another thing in Waterbury the rest of my life. It hurts me to say that, this town works with the residents and people like myself that want to invest in the town. And he's been phenomenal. Chris is a great resource for the town. And he's a pleasure to work with. And, you know, he's helped us every step along the way. Look at tonight. So for me, I love getting in front of you, answering any questions you might have. We're gonna do this thing right. Because we see the opportunity. We think we can get 5 buildings up within a year and a half. Because I think the demand is really there. And then once success breeds success. So as soon as we get those up, other people start to see, and we might get one person that wants the big building. And we'll do something different there. So we want to get this in front of the town, make sure that we get everything approved to your point. Thank you. We're gonna have all of the mechanicals and the infrastructure laid out beforehand. So when we have to, we're not gonna be digging up, you know, concrete or blacktop because
Life will be
oops, we
easier.
missed something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna spend the money. It's gonna take a few $1 million up front to do this before we get the first run. So this is a major investment we're making. On
Yeah, I
top
don't
of
think
land
the town is
purchase.
gonna be,
Sorry,
I don't think the town's gonna fall down.
I don't
I
think so.
think where you're gonna run into it is gonna be the neighbor. So that's why I said if there's
Right.
a way, at least on the facing side. you
We're
can
gonna make it look as
soften them
pretty-
right up,
as
And
pretty
you
as
give them
possible.
that when you go in there and say, listen, we don't want this to look like a junkyard. We're gonna do it this way. You're gonna get out in front. And that's my suggestion, because we've run into it
Oh, I'm sure.
countless times with it, you know, it's just a point of, it's a great idea. It's a good usage. It's not gonna be like this huge congested place. And at the same time, if you can get out in front of them, and say, hey, we're not gonna make them look like just white steel buildings. We're gonna soften them up, landscape them. At least on the field, you know, in the back where train tracks are, who's gonna see those in the
There's
back,
no-
but at least around the corners.
Correct.
Then at least you're out in front of them, and then they can't really run you down too much, you know?
Right. And we want to work with our neighbors. That's really important. It's one of the things we did at Stankin.
Well, the fact that you're in town already, you already have history with the town and everything else, people can go to that. That's a good thing.
So that's, and that's where we, you know, Chris said it. Your alternative, if your alternative is open lot versus 80,000, 100,000 square foot, 2-story building, I'd always go with the empty lot. And that's what they're looking
Well,
at.
that's.
And that's what they
exactly
want.
it, Right.
But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. I build houses too. I would love, this would have been a fantastic multifamily site. Fantastic, put 25 duplexes on this property. It's an easy build, right? But the town doesn't want it. The town wants industrial. And that's what we're gonna make work. And I understand people. Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of make sure that they know the town is, this is not a zoning change. As Chris said, they haven't seen too many projects come across their desk where we're not asking for a variance anyway. We meet the criteria every step along the way. So it should go through.
Well, they're not gonna
Do I-
be
do I
tall
think this-
either, where they can't see through from the neighbors, they can look through it, it's not gonna be this massive one block of a building.
No,
Like we have with the greenhouses now.
correct.
So John, there are 2 curb cuts, one on Norton, one on Ford Road,
Mhm.
right? Okay. Is, I guess, is there a traffic study required?
Yes.
Because I guess.
Where's the curb cut on that? Oh,
Yeah, traffic.
okay.
And sort of following, you know, what Chris said with respect to the neighbors and traffic. Well, 'cause they're all used to coming out of their driveways and not having a lot of action with respect to traffic. Well, I asked the question.
But the main thing is, it's
But
not a
I-
zone
I-
change.
No.
You go through that
four-
four-way stop sign and down to Willard and McGee, you wanna see traffic in the morning?
Yeah, but that 4 road is a direct thing from the turn, right?
Yeah.
Right across out. So that's a business.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of truck traffic.
It's never been bad, I mean, I go through there every morning, I go to the gym and back home.
Oh, I'm
There's
not
force
saying-
traffic
I'm not
out in
saying
front of the
over, but
schools
it's
that is
not
down
a
there.
rural road that nobody ever.
Right,
goes
no,
on.
absolutely, I see tractor trailers and national science guys going up and down, but it's courteous.
And if the use is right, you know, you're not gonna see big trucks. It's not,
No.
it might be a small little truck for a plumber or an electrician and deliveries, and they're gonna park their cars, take their units, and boom, they're gone.
I was gonna say, and I don't think the complex is set up for an 18-wheeler to negotiate. I
No.
think it's like a 30-foot box truck is the largest you can get in for deliveries.
And we're not
A
talking,
vendor's truck is gonna come.
You
in
still
there.
have to accommodate a tractor trailer.
Right, if you have manufacturing in there.
Yeah, well, absolutely, but the idea is we're not gonna have tractor trailers way in the back all the time. I mean, yeah, could you find your way in? Yes, but
You're not gonna have a FedEx.
This whole layout's gonna work.
The little FedEx.
Yeah.
The one I could drive.
That's
Not the easy wheel. Forget that one.
there will be public hearings on this.
I think it's gonna be a special permit. Yeah,
Special
yeah,
permit.
well, because I think, well, the way we've talked about it, and I haven't looked at the paperwork, but was to come in to get the approval for the entire complex for your clean contractors. That way, instead of having to come through for every single unit, they can get a sign off on the major approval for each tenant as we go along. It just be the simple 2-page form. That way it doesn't, because if you remember,
Streamline.
or Orsini, basically everything Orsini did was a special permit. Then finally it was, okay, let's just get the approval, which makes life much easier, because again, you want to make life easy for the tenant once we get going. And yes, for clean contractors and special permit use, so yes, there'll be public hearings.
So butters get notified.
Yeah, special permit, they will, yes.
So I guess if I was presenting this, you're not gonna get. You're not gonna have trouble with the town. It's the neighbors that you're gonna have. And the prettier, the better. That's all it's saying, because they're gonna come and they're gonna look at it, if it looks like.
Well, they're gonna have a
They're not gonna
preconceived
be
notion
used
right
to
off the bat.
something really industrial, looking. So, the
Because that's what they're
prettier
gonna
you
expect.
make it, the more buy-in. They're gonna understand when they go to the public hearing that they can't stop. It's allowed.
Yeah, I mean, and one thing that we don't do often, but is something that definitely can be something that we look at, which is, let's say a better letters are gonna go out, or before the better letters go out, just get a room down at the community center, have all the things out there. Hey, look, here's who we are, here's what we're doing, have a time, and that way, if anybody wants to come in beforehand, you can explain what it is. Nobody may show
How
up.
many neighbors are really around? It's like 4 or 5 coming back.
Well,
north.
you've got
And
on
then you
both
got
sides.
Some,
Legally, or
no, really, like, who is really gonna be most impacted?
you probably have 12 houses on both sides.
Is it worth a knock and an introduction?
I
I
just,
think, I think.
You know what I mean? Hey, this is who we are, here's what we're looking to do, this is what it's gonna look like.
You show them what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
You have a little
soften it.
Q&A, and this way here,
Soften
they're
it.
informed.
It shows that you're not
Otherwise,
afraid
when
of
they
that.
go to a
Oh, no.
meeting, it's kind of.
Right.
I
It's
would've
gonna be
done it already.
confrontational, I agree.
but we don't have anything to
Yeah.
go with.
Good point.
So I, personal touch is usually how I do it.
Well, it's always better, because then I know you wanna be a neighbor. You wanna
And
coexist
that's-
with them, and that's.
And
the
I'll
best way
listen to
do that.
them. I'm not gonna promise anything, but I'm gonna listen to them.
Sure.
We will definitely take everything that we hear into consideration, and if it's, we, to your point, I agree with you 100%. The aesthetics of the building are incredibly important. If we can make it, we know we're gonna spend more just for that.
Yep.
Well, as I said, one of our partners is a mason, so we're looking at what we can do to make it as amenable and as nice.
Yeah,
For the
it's
better
a straight
term.
Butler building, we sort of.
Yeah, it's,
You know what I mean? We all get it.
Yeah.
They may not buy into just. They have to have a little masonry for the first
Right.
few feet,
there you go.
decorate,
Right.
dress it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
We're gonna make sure we have the right lights. We're gonna make sure we,
Right, you ground light it, backlight them back up again at night,
Exactly.
and it's gonna help you anyway to bring in a better class of
Landscaping,
clientele, and they're gonna be
there's-
willing to pay what you're asking.
Correct.
Buffers.
As you can, I don't know.
Everybody wants
That's
to
all
go to a
we-
nice place and showcase their
You're,
business.
you're
that's for
probably,
sure.
you're probably used to a PowerPoint presentation, doing pictures up there.
Yeah, well, I mean, for tomorrow's the wetlands, the engineer is gonna run
No,
the show.
I'm talking about for the neighbors.
P and Z,
Make them feel,
but P and Z, we're gonna do level full. We'll have the picture of the.
no, I'm talking about your presentation to the
Oh,
neighbors.
the neighborhood, yeah, if we do what Chris says,
Yeah,
you know,
they love that.
we'll invite everyone.
is the abutter notice just to the houses that?
I think it's,
Does it go,
I think it's 500 feet from the edge of the property.
That's why I said
So
legally.
it
I would
goes,
expect
it goes in all directions. So it'll go across the tracks. It'll go to the industrial guys. It's probably not gonna make it all the way up to
Soft.
Pete, but it may make it pretty close
It'll go
because,
down Norton towards,
That's
me a
what it
little,
is.
Yep.
but you may have more than a dozen.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you're, but,
I'm thinking 20.
I mean, you're gonna go all the way up to Kensington,
You got nothing to
then
hide.
behind
No,
across
that's right.
Kensington, because the train tracks are, you can't be close enough, to back over.
We do want to be transparent.
Yeah.
There's truly nothing to hide. So you can see some of the things were already built into the initial plan and between shrubs and trees, and you could see the initial
Oh,
outline and then
you're dressing up.
That's
that
just gonna,
corner.
that's just gonna make it so much easier to slide you through, get everybody out.
and we're already discussing what the building, physical final layout of the building, because we don't have it approved yet. Then we'll design the outside to be more amenable to the neighborhood. That's important. Because we are gonna put 8 of these on. So
yeah,
we want-
Kensington, Norton, Wildermere. Kensington
Yeah, we'll go around if it's 500 feet.
Yeah, it's gonna be damn close.
Yeah, I don't be there, because
You
But I
could
mean,
have a
look,
nice-
how much are they
nice
gonna push
project.
back? They got a national sign right
Yeah,
across.
we're
the
really
street.
excited.
Yeah, I'm not pitching a fit about them, if these are gonna be prettier buildings than that, smaller.
coffee and Danish food, you know what I mean?
I'm listening to the marketing guy here.
Yeah, well, that's what you do, you invite the neighbors and you say refreshments will be served,
Yeah.
and they'll all come down at least for that part.
Everything here is. I think it's just that, auction house.
Hey, and then use it to your favor, hit them up,
That's-
say, hey, do you know any contractors
Fine.
that are looking for
Great
space?
Building.
And why not let them
That's a
refer
great
you,
idea.
because then they can put their friends in there.
Yep.
Why not get your referrals out?
I
If you're being a nice kind of neighbor and you're moving them,
Let us
listen,
know
do
when
you
you're
know
done.
anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Absolutely, even better.
Okay.
See, what's good is you're not trying to behave like a bull in a china shop, which is sort of,
I know.
you know what I mean?
I've been on both sides. I understand.
Because we get all kinds.
So obviously you've tried this in Waterbury.
I mean, with the high school.
So Chris Edge, so now, any other questions for John? So I guess, what are we looking for tonight, Chris Edge from EDC?
I would-
With respect to this project.
Sure, I mean, I would say either motion or similar support. I could take the P and Z and then as we move along, we'll kind of let you guys know what's happening. And then again, if a public gathering is put together, I'll work with John and let everybody know about it. And then we'll do what we can to
Okay, one
get everybody on board.
quick thing. Hey, Vince Fortunato, you're up there. Any questions, sir?
I like the project. I think we should be supporting it as you just indicated.
You said motion, so you roll with it.
I'd make it done, yeah. For sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as long as it meets all the criteria. You support this, I think it's great.
Okay, good. Second somewhere?
I'll second that.
Scampanelli, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstain, it's unanimous.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
Good luck.
Everybody's support.
Hope it works.
we will be
Yeah.
here after, too, if you need anything. Refer to anything.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna let you continue with your meeting.
Okay, thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jen. Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck with the head.
Thank you.
Honestly, did you get a new one?
I got a new one.
You.
You got a new head?
Well, how long?
I got cold
A month ago?
again.
You'll love it.
What's that? His new hip?
My right hip is done 10 years ago. No problem.
I met a guy
Yeah.
today who had 5th knee replacement on the same knee. I suggested he might want a new surgeon.
Yeah, it's gonna be night and day for it. That's great.
Yeah, my
Got it.
cousin
Yeah,
just did his and he's
something
like 5 weeks out and everything changed.
Oh, I was out of work for a month.
I mean, before that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know your hip was fast. What was it from? See, all that softball just come back to get you, man.
Ain't more to wrestling, fighting.
All the martial arts stuff, gotcha. Yeah, at least you got a good story.
Okay, folks, item 5 on the agenda, Chris Edge, go for it.
Sure. So FHI Studio had done the meeting on December 5th. Text amendment should hopefully be filed within a week or so, and then we're hoping public hearings in February, March at the latest. Again, these are the changes, mostly on the Berlin Turnpike, including the Golden Triangle as well as the other zoning. Did get some pushback from some folks. I think, how to put this nicely? They were on the commission 20 years ago and don't want to change what they did 20 years ago, even though it doesn't work today. So,
Bro, I find that hard. to
I
believe.
guess, I know. But I think if we can get the 2 acre minimum, less on the turnpike, 2 acre minimum for the car washes gone and get a number of uses on the Golden Triangle. Actually, I met with somebody today. It's a company out of Waterbury, very similar to Fortunato family, where they're construction, looking at development. I said, hey, here's what we're looking at, and there might be an interest in at least taking a look at it. So, it's,
What parcel?
a Golden Triangle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there any reason given why you don't want to go to 1 acre?
They think 2 acres makes more sense. They're concerned about having too many curb cuts and smaller properties. I tried to explain the economics of it, which is the fact that 1.7 acres, you can't just buy 0.3 next door. You got to buy the guy's 1.5. So now you have 3.2 acres to meet a 2 acre minimum. And you've
Paid all
automatically,
that extra money.
you've blown up your performance, no longer works. And we're talking about even for the big guys, it doesn't work. Now, if you're just an average Joe, there's no way it's going to work. I think my guess is we're going to probably end up like 1.5 acres. And then if it's less, you can come in and ask for them to do it anyway. But
That's just it. There's properties out there that are less than 2 acres
Mhm.
that have development on each side. So you crippled that piece of property.
you have,
Well, the other thing that we were talking, Chris, when I'm talking about it, one of the things the town doesn't want is like to have a car wash out there and then put used cars in front. Well, if you have a smaller lot, then the car wash is gonna take up the majority, if they're not gonna have the room to do. it. If you make them go by 3 acres, now they're gonna have the room for cars. So maybe this helps us in the long run by making sure that the business is what's materially there.
yeah, and I've,
Modern car washes want you to wash your car, vacuum it and get out. So they don't even want you to take up the space of a used car, but there's enough used car dealers out
Yep.
there.
but I mean, you have somebody like a Russell Speeders, great operation. They're going to come in. It's going to be what, a $4 to $5 million building. They want the flow. You're like you said, you get the vacuums, get in, get out. It's like a gym membership. They don't want any cars. They want it to be quick, clean, fast.
Turnover.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
numbers.
put people through.
So how they,
Volume is their game.
how are they gonna address this? And how soon? I'm sorry.
Well, so FHI needs to come in with the actual language for the text amendments itself. Once they're in, they'll schedule a public hearing at that point. And so I believe we're going to connect with them in the next week or so. Myself, Mahoney, Maureen, assistant planner, just to kind of talk about, okay, great. What are we bringing in that we think can work? Because my biggest fear in the entire thing has been one member doesn't like it, so it doesn't even come in as a text amendment. The problem with that is nobody except in-house has been able to talk about it. I want commercial real estate. I want developers. I want Vince. I want other people to come talk about it and say, look, this is where it is from my perspective. Okay. This
Can
doesn't
we give
work.
that from here, like give like a sheet of paper that basically talks about what the benefits, what the problems are that currently we have, so we can lay it out there, so no one could say, well, we didn't realize that.
Yeah, no, we easily could do that. I mean, I probably have some of the narrative already in different documents on how we got here. Because I mean,
One thing, if you pull it together and give them a Cliff Notes version, like what Eddie's saying,
Yeah.
what you were saying, I think, why not? Give it to them. Then they have, you're gonna get right around.
The
Harder
acreage,
for them to know it.
the acreage, size has no bearing on the safety of the development. It's the road frontage and how each driveway will be X amount of feet away from each other and not the size of that lot.
And I think they have a tendency to look at, okay, what's the worst thing we have in the turnpike? Okay, it's the motels and it's the used cars. Well, right now, we're looking to add uses so that that's not the only thing that is viable down there. At present, I mean, you know, the reason the Dunkin' Donuts Plaza is mostly empty has nothing to do with Dunkin' or Cary. It has to do with the fact that it allowed retail, office, restaurant. That's very rarely,
The other side's in.
yeah, I mean, and not a lot of
Nothing's
that's gonna
going
happen
down
down there.
Where people are stuck, they're kind of like an island unto
Yeah.
themselves in that spot.
Well, it is. I mean, and just when we were at the meeting today, we basically took up the aerial and you look at it and it's just, it is. I mean, you hit that front section, you have
Stops at the Mickey
Dunkin' and
Fence,
yeah,
too.
and there's just nothing. And I think there's an opportunity here as well. I mean, what I can see is because that parcel really is not just a Berlin parcel. That's a regional draw parcel because of its in the intersection of the interstates and so close to 91. If you did a continuation of care, so you have something, let's say apartments, assisted living, and then the top is memory care and hospice in one continuous campus.
Right.
That would have a huge draw. And again, down the front, because you would only want a portion of it to be the residential-ish therapist and radiology, dialysis, couple restaurants. So you'd have a nice mix, but instead of being apartments, maybe it's more of the actual long-term care that people are going to need as they age, because we know people in Berlin want to stay in Berlin. And I think you'll get a lot of families from outside
Well,
too.
look at the two that are over on Cook Hill Road, what's it, their Pasture Village. And then, you know, stuff, Ewan Place. Those things are massive and they're full. But they have auditoriums, they have where they can do like concerts and movie theaters built in.
Yep.
And I tell you, I have clients there that, I mean, it's first class. And we have nothing like it, and we have an elderly population paying more and more to maintain their stuff, to fix their homes, things of that nature. They have nowhere to go.
Yep.
To stay in this community where they know it. We gotta find a way to keep them here. So that they're comfortable in the town. They don't have to move somewhere else where they don't know it at 80 years old.
I mean, the other thing that would be great to see, and it was part of what FHI put together, which is that it essentially, because of the wetlands and the grade, it almost is three distinct sites. You got the swamp, you got the commercial, and then you got the piece on top. I would love to see kind of a assisted living commercial mix down the bottom. And what if you did over 55 ownership condo standalone, like a planned unit development, 30-35 up there with views down the Connecticut River?
We can make holy land out of it. Boom.
Anything is possible. We'll just bury a small guy in the ground, not a big one. But I mean, that's something that desperately is needed. The good thing about that is you can go out Middletown Road, because commercial's not going to go on Middletown Road, but you can go right down the ridge to Middletown Road to what's essentially residential development.
I
And
read this the other day was interesting. In LA, they're building a Costco's with affordable housing on top of it. Okay? Multi-million-dollar setup.
And for $1 an hour, you can get a hot
I was
dog.
gonna
and a Coke.
say, I don't know, I guess customers and
Not your hot
workers.
dogs, bro. Trust me, I tried one.
What I'm bringing up, or what I'm getting at is like, there's still, if that particular development was done right, a Trader Joe's would work there. Okay, they're not a real big supermarket as far as the square footage they take, but it will also be something that would be attractive for that area.
Well, and I think you're right. Anybody that from a commercial side, anybody's going to the commercial side is going to look at what's the demographic of the resident. Whether that's the overfit, whether that's the ownership, or whether that's somebody coming into the long-term nursing care. Because you think about it too, is hotel. Relatives are going to come in, stay at the hotel to see mom and dad. I think there's a lot of opportunities, but again, it's getting enough uses in there to get people interested, because I mean, literally, in 10 years, I've had exactly one use that fits, which is the hotel. And it was trying to go on Art's piece, but you'd have to turn it sideways because of the setbacks, and it just doesn't work.
That's one thing I'd love to see there, because of the view. It's gonna overlook, and it shows the mountains. Yes, you have the highway right there, but looking out, hotel on that corner would be perfect. But, you know, we gotta get the zoning straightened out. And I think at this point, we have to stress the fact that this property has been sitting idle because of the black and white print that we're dealing with as far as its uses.
Not only that, there is another 600-pound gorilla. That they have forestry. PA 490 tax tax. So they're not paying the taxes that they should be paying. So they have the golden cap where they can sit back, because they're not paying nothing. And they could just wait it out. So my thought process is, why do they have it? The only time a stick comes off that property is if a wind blows it off. It wants forestry, nothing. So change it over. Watch how fast they'll develop that property. I mean, every year I have to come in and fill out paperwork to prove that I'm a farm, and I make 60,000-70,000 a year.
Okay, to be honest with you, the owners wanna sell that property as much as we want it developed. That's not,
Right, but if the tax bill goes from 5,000 to 100,000, they'll be a little more motivated. to move in.
no, true, I can't disagree with that totally. But they wanna sell it too, because majority,
But you got 10 people.
but you got a majority of the people that originally purchased that. They're in the
Oh,
ground,
I understand. I know, the second generation is looking to move in,
yeah,
but we still gotta get all those people on the same page.
Yeah.
Let's motivate them. More.
yeah, well,
My hope is as well is if they can get a real estate agent to be their voice, I think it would also help us all. Real estate agent with the number of uses that are now allowed. I think the two of those pieces that, yes, Chris, that's part of it.
I mean, the text, don't get me wrong, it's
Yeah.
100% the way the zoning is.
Yep.
Kind of hamstring them anyway,
Absolutely.
but there was opportunities in it they could have done, but they have the ability to sit it out. Because it's not killing them.
correct. Your point's well taken, there's no doubt.
Yeah, and I think there is opportunity, but again, we may, my biggest way I'm looking at a
We
lot of
brought
this is.
somebody in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And as soon as the interest was there, it went up 3 million.
Yeah.
That's because they could wait it out.
Yep. Yeah, and I think on all this stuff, it's cracking the door open a little bit to get something going. We may get something that doesn't fit, but you know what? If we just added 10, we got something completely different that fits.
I think if you can get something just to start it.
Yeah.
Go from there, yeah.
So PNC doesn't really have any problem with what they're proposing there, is that correct?
No, P and Z's fine with that. I think P and Z is in agreement with us that the 10-acre minimum makes the most sense. I mean, if you have 5, but only if it's part of a master development, which means the whole thing has to be done together. The other big pushback was going from 7 acres to 12 units by the 12 units an acre by the train station, which really, there's 2 properties that I think about for that, which would be Ron's Auto and Webster Bank. Those are the 2 biggies. Because Ron's Auto is right across from the big development. Webster Bank, they don't need whatever, 16,000 square foot building. But at present, you can put 7 units there. If you did 12 per acre, you could do 20 units. I don't know about you, but that seems like it'd be a really nice investment for somebody to come in. Webster on the bottom floor, maybe a restaurant, apartment second, build a 3rd apartments. I mean, it's a huge parking lot. And
What's
again,
our philosophy? Still don't understand why we're trying to bring more and more apartments. Like, why are we doing?
that's how we get the tenants on the bottom floor, people get financed.
You would say part of it is from our transit orientated
Yeah,
development,
but we've pretty much done what we needed to do with a lot of that.
but that probably would be the last location. I don't think we want,
I don't think that's a popular decision in town, bringing in more apartments, keep bringing in. You know, let the apartments come to affordable housing. I think if you did a townwide study. We'd have 80% against it. I understand we're trying, you know, senior housing is a different thing. Because that actually progresses the town by moving people out of their houses into senior housing, brings families in, is what we want. But just bringing in apartments at, you know, $1,800 1-bedroom apartments.
Well, there's, see, I've had from the Affordable Housing Commission, and they asked me to sit on it. What is it called, a 363, whatever that deal is, they try to come up with little houses and they try to ram it or ABCs.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So the state's not stupid. So they're gonna hang that
Oh,
So that's a
8-30G.
8-30. So they're gonna hang that over you. The town is gonna say, well, the lesser of two evils is we're gonna keep putting in these market rate apartments. But at some point, you have to realize any apartments that were built 21, 22 have paid, 30, 40% premium areas. So they're gonna charge 2,400 a month for a 2-bedroom, and in very short order, you can go get a mortgage on a house for less than that. When those apartments are done, I think the state's ultimate plan is, when those apartments are empty, we're gonna put exactly what we're thinking we're not gonna get into those empty apartments. I think we have to be very, very careful, because they are definitely not on our side.
I mean, my thing with Ron's is I want to give Ron a second choice besides putting out a for rent.
Listen, I think that if we can get somebody like Bobby said, look, everybody was shaking their head.
Yeah.
When he said senior house.
Yeah.
There's nobody that wouldn't be behind that, because we know we have a major hole there, but these poor people can't get financing and get any kind of incentives for that. I mean, Vince would probably agree to do it. We wouldn't, got a 50, 60 unit, Vince is an accomplished builder, he could build something like that in a heartbeat, if they can help him out.
Yep.
And we have such a huge need in town for it. But my fear is those apartments are gonna be open, and the state's gonna say, well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do to the developer, we'll fill them in, we're gonna give you a check every month. And then we're gonna have exactly what we don't want on our downtown.
Mhm.
Let's be really, really
And then
careful.
that's when all the pressure starts. Police, the fire, the ambulance.
I don't know, sounds like my parents talking then instead of us. Guy, you gotta look at who rents those apartments today. These young people that are 25, 30, 35 years old. That's who's in them. And we need to complete that area.
A different philosophy.
I don't, I
Actually, Walt-
understand. what you're
Wall Street just came out with a report that 30-year-olds feel that they're not gonna be able to realize the American dream because they can't afford houses, they can't afford housing, things of that nature.
Hmm.
So it's too expensive even for the apartments, what they're saying. They're not gonna be able to retire correctly, things of that nature. And it's partly because they're coming up in this period with this hyperinflation, so everything is so much more. But there's gonna be a point when it rejigs itself. And it slows back down, but the problem is when you have $20 million into a project that 5 years later you can do for 15. Still gotta charge what they gotta charge to get the money.
Oh, no doubt. But then you
They're
got a
not
next,
stuck.
you got a next generation that's coming up. That was in yesterday's paper. Yeah. I think maybe what you're saying that if we do this one, we're gonna do another one. And then we're going to
I
ruin
just
this
think
town.
that this, I think we're halfway there, honestly. I don't think you're in the middle listening to people. I'm telling you, people in the know. Not, you got your town, you have your two sides, you got this, you got that. Town's gonna do what they wanna do because they have the authority, they like the power. That's the town. That's not what the people want. And, economically, that's not the right thing to do. But, hey, I can sit here and argue with you all day because when these 25-year-olds become 35 and still have no money in the bank, nothing because they've rented for 10 years instead of putting it into a house, which they couldn't because they couldn't come down with a 10% down payment or 20% down payment. They're gonna be broke at 35, still single, still doing this because they could never afford the American dream, as he says. They'll be leaving. And they'll, but the answer is more senior housing, let these people who are aging out. Get into the senior housing, makes life easier, bring in your families that can't afford, even small, 1,800 square foot ranches. There's still a lot of those in town. That's how you build it. And that's just my opinion.
Okay, folks, we'll move on here to, I guess, we're done with item 5, Chris.
Yep.
right?
No, this is just to run through some of the things recently.
6.
Seed Central, Farmer's Cow, Jersey Mike's, Dr. Waterman came from Middletown, I think, for the Stars Barber Shop over on Chamberlain Highway. Just a couple milestone awards coming up. Arts and Culture Ad Hoc Committee, we're looking for a couple new members, got another $5,900 grant. So we're hoping to kind of make some things happen. So we're starting to see some things with supporting the concerts at St. Paul's, high school production of Wizard of Oz, Frozen Junior, so Historical Society doing some banners on their buildings, so really trying to spread some of the money around to community folks. So that's about it with that. And then I do have a calendar here at the end because we're supposed to do our calendar this month. So I don't know if there's any dates there that we like, don't like, etc.
Commissioner's opinion on something.
Of course.
Farmer's Cow.
Yes.
What do you guys think about the fence that's around that? You know, the theory of a fence is keep out.
Mhm.
Okay? Do you think the fence around that commercial building actually does not do it justice or what? What's your guys' opinion?
I think that doesn't help, nor does the fact that the windows seem to be blacked out, we can't see them.
Okay,
And that, like women, I made a comment, the guy's a powerhouse. I'm like, you need to lift up all the branches off the bottom of your trees. Because women, when they don't feel safe at night, they're not gonna come in. Remember, we said the same thing to Corey when he came in to do his Anchor Village over there?
Yeah.
And we said, open it up. Bobby said, we gotta light that parking lot up because if they're gonna come in there to buy, remember, there's like exercise equipment or clothing or something, they're gonna come in there. I mean, every study shows they don't feel comfortable, it's too dark, there's shadows, they're not well. And I think that's part of it, because when I come out of the Sitco station, I look, I can't see it. And I'm
With
like,
the
it's gotta be
back of that
welcoming,
building.
it's gotta, yeah, and then maybe it is,
Something
but
more inviting.
it does, you got it, that's exactly the right word, it just doesn't seem inviting, and I think the fence doesn't help, I think the combination.
Yeah, I don't know if it helps or deters people. I don't.
All that I agree. Sometimes it doesn't even look open.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly, that's. Yeah, you go, if you pull.
Well, in fact,
Bad
there's no
thing.
cars.
McDonald's, but you go into McDonald's, you see right into the building.
yeah, I mean. Tell you the truth, my wife came up with this. She goes, why is there a fence around a commercial establishment? The fence is, stay out. You know,
Why tell us the truth, we already choose to bring to the office.
she is, she got the
He
look
told us
too,
that last year.
she got the look still, like that. Just food for thought, I just wanna throw it out there. I don't know if the tenant or Jimmy wants to look at it.
I mean, if you guys want, I'm happy to get a sit down with Edwin and say, this is kind of what our thoughts are. We discussed it and get a couple, 2, 3 members of the commission to sit down with him
I
and.
You wanna
think
sit
pizza
down with
was
Jim?
perfect.
Well, we can sit down with Jim, but
Say, hey.
Make it more inviting, help them be successful.
Do something that-
Huh?
that
Okay.
needs
The
something.
more welcoming, the one to
So
draw
that needs
people
something
in.
to make
Just collect a
Right.
check for 18
Something.
years.
Window
Okay.
boxes, something, anything to make it more inviting, that was a perfect one.
Okay, folks, meeting dates for 2025, last page of your package.
September 8th, Labor Day?
no, it should be the Monday after, I believe. I tried to get away from. Yeah, because September's Labor Day and then November's Election Day. I usually try to get away from both of those.
All right. Where are we on the agenda?
You're on number.
Last page.
Last page.
The last page of the packet has all the dates.
Yeah, I know that, what I'm saying, okay, good.
Yeah, September 1st is Labor Day
Okay.
in 25.
Perfect.
So, February
And I want to say our meeting was like July
7th,
5th or 6th, and I just figured we'd stay away from the 4th of July.
14th, smart. We're okay for the 14th, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. August 4th, I won't be here then,
Down the beach at the same time.
yeah.
For
Can
me,
we-
I mean, yeah, look at your calendar, I'm kind of open this year.
Can we do that a week later, August? On the 11th,
We don't usually meet in August anyway, so that'll probably get canceled.
well, we have been doing that, huh?
I don't think,
Wanna leave
how
it?
long have you been on this board? I don't know if we've ever had an August meeting.
Usually, it does- you're right, usually it does get canceled.
Just leave it?
Yeah, it's just new.
And then if we have, if something's a
Do a
crisis, we have a
special meeting.
special meeting and push it out a week or two. we'll have a
Right,
Special
get your
meeting.
leave this
Okay.
lot full,
Okay.
unless you want.
You can call them in your bathing suit.
Yeah, you're gonna like that.
That's it, don't get that visual, you'll burn your corneas out.
September, I guess is fine. October 6th. We in Hershey then?
Yeah, I think we leave,
Can we do it at 13th?
no, we go on, First, you could be on the sixth.
You won't be back for.
So 13th,
Right, get back to the 13th.
is that all right? Is that all right, you guys? Go October 13th?
That works.
Doesn't matter.
Is October sixth to the thirteenth.
Yeah.
So it's like.
So we're looking for a motion to approve the meeting dates for 2025 as written, except for that one change. Cobra makes the motion.
I'll make
Second,
the motion.
second. Cobra made it
Oh,
already.
yeah, I'll
You're
second.
second. You're
Better
good.
go. Second.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Item 9, commissioner comments, open floor, whatever you want.
What's going on with the benches?
We have 5 benches in the ground right now. We're gonna be working on getting likely some kind of display or similar that'll be next to it where we can either highlight art or the history, most likely be the history of town at this point.
Yeah.
But we're still trying to figure that piece out because we're not sure exactly what we want to do with it. The other option is, particularly by the fire department, to maybe look to take the maybe signal box and maybe do some art, but it's really, we're not sure yet. We're gonna meet later this week and kind of figure out the next steps.
Okay, I guess on a personal basis.
Yep.
Who's paying for these now?
Okay, the ones that we had were for the grant from Seneca Health District. So what I'd like to do is talk to you about what we can do for your relative with the, if not the bench, other stuff we're gonna be doing there.
Okay.
I think there's a way to
Just
do
let
something.
the Commissioner know, when we were talking about the benches, I was gonna fund the one in front of the firehouse in dedication to my father-in-law, who was chief there for years, and my mother-in-law. But it seemed like it was put up by this
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, well, here's what happened there was we got the benches, they were able to get them in the ground, and the easiest way to get them in the ground was properties that the town actually had control of. So that's basically the reason why it was there, because yeah, the intent was to try to hold off, but it was,
Okay.
Why can't you put your plaque on that bench and basically use the money you're willing to donate to buy another one?
Not me. If they wanna do something like that, and I'll pay for that one, and they
Yep.
can take that fund and put another one up
okay,
down
yeah,
the road.
yeah, I have not
And
talked
have
to,
them Put their plaque up, but I just wanted to have some information on it, okay.
yeah, let me find out about that, because I know part of it is we want to do something, maybe not to the same degree, but they did in Veterans Park, but something similar where you might have a board that has information, et cetera. And maybe that's where it is, which is, okay, here's the history of firefighting in Berlin dedicated to his honor or something.
If it works, fine, if
Yep.
it don't, and,
Well, no, I want to do something, and I just need to figure out
okay,
kind of what it is. So,
Can we do anything at the ends of our exit ramps? Like they do North Haven, different towns, businesses sponsor it, they landscape it, they pay for the
Yeah,
maintenance.
beside the other way, do not enter.
Yeah, go home.
Or the guys, they drop off the pedal for money.
Fun to say that.
Well, I would love to do it.
yeah.
yeah,
The
I need to find out, because it was a no-no for a while, but I'm happy to go back at it again.
It'd be great.
I'll help them too.
Beautify that area.
Okay, folks, anything else?
Yeah, so I want to bring something up kind of quick here for something so everybody knows. The push again is on for why. And, you know, politicals are one thing, for business people or others. We have a lot of businesses, Sam, and people in Powerhouse that have been longtime taxpayers in this town that are private. And we know the Y has got a subsidy. That gives them an unfair advantage to the businesses that have paid taxes, hundreds of thousands over the years in this town, have been loyal to the town. And I think that we have to be cognizant of a couple of things. One, if you have membership to the Y, you can use any one. So why would anybody that's going to New Britain or Meriden not want to go to the new Y here in town? We have to be cognizant of who's coming. We also have to be cognizant of the impact that it's gonna have on current businesses. They have a little bump, I guess, because LA Fitness is closing. So I would expect that some of those members are probably gonna come to our gyms, which is helpful. But I can tell you right now, Powerhouse ships down.
Is it?
So if they start to come back up again, but if we do that, and they can go in there. I mean, even like the Y has certain times for seniors to work out. But what if that's times that everybody else wants to work out? They can't go in there? Things of that nature that are there. And I just think that we need to be cognizant of the impact it's gonna have to our current businesses that have been loyal to us with our grand list. And make sure that we don't do anything to harm them at the same time, you know? Just because somebody, one way or another, wants some pet project done. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Chris.
I got two quick things. So my understanding that Sharon Elizabeth is closing next week for good.
What is?
Sharon Elizabeth. They sold the building to the CPA guy, the existing building, and I guess that whole property with the State Farm and everything else.
Oh, okay.
There's a State Farm moving into the building we were just talking about down the road from the yellow building, Worthington, just on the corner. State Farm agents moving in there. I don't know if it's that girl from, or
In the yellow building?
No, no,
Not the
no,
yellow.
where the accountant used to be. He's actually relocating from the yellow building to the accountant building.
really.
Yeah, she's a different city.
Usually those corporate, State Farm, all states don't let you
Yeah.
live in, so.
Yeah, territories, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Yep.
So I just saw that on social media, but I do know that Sharon Elizabeth is closing. For good, they went into the cutting edge. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
That building, which is still owned by Piemonte. But. Someone I know really well. Knows them, and said they're done, so just to let you know, not that.
Is it a lack of business or just they want to retire?
I think it's a combination of a lot of different issues, plus selling the building probably made things easier for them. And that guy who bought the building is trying to sub it out for some kind of office stuff, and I don't know anything about that, but. So that's the one thing. The second thing is, Chris and I have been talking for about 6 months about doing some kind of, lack of a better term, network event. We had originally talked, but my life became a mess for a few months there and everything. I wasn't able to do anything. We were gonna get together, we were gonna have lunch. It never happened. So something we want to do, maybe March, at this point might be April. But just an event where you can have a big enough space. You can have some of the local town organizations have tables. The Lions Club can have a table, Chamber can have a table. Whatever, right? This is just any ideas. Great. But this is just a thought. Invite all the businesses in town. Figure out how we can fund it. The only place we really thought of was either Casa Mia or.
Yep. Yeah, Casamia was actually there for an event. They actually did a really good job. It's actually
But they'll be a lot more expensive than anywhere else. But
True.
I use them for several things, that they were pretty reasonable.
so
Great job.
anyway, it's a thought. We haven't, I put some stuff down. I sent to Chris. We were supposed to get together. It just never happened. But, we're gonna throw it out. Then we were gonna present it, but. Whatever.
And I could
You
do
guys
it,
here.
you know.
Any
Yeah, I think it's a great
ideas
idea.
you have, you guys don't like it, you guys like it, the thought on letting all the local organizations have their own table.
Would they pay for them? That's fine.
You can charge them $30 or something like that.
Nothing that will possible.
No, just to have tables, maybe get some sponsors, but if you go in, I've always been interested in the Lions, you have a representative there. The Chamber can promote their stuff. There's a few there's a BNI, there's a lot of different organizations that can just have it there. you're talking to business owners, that's who they want to talk to. So anyway, that,
Why don't we get a list of everything? Why don't we put together a list, like you're saying, all the different organizations and businesses?
yeah, we haven't gotten that far. We got to the point where they'll throw those ideas. But, I mean, that was a thought. I think we should have it. I think the town doesn't really have anything.
And the
Bring
goal would be,
businesses
Bobby, to
together,
bring
so-
people, citizens from the town in to look at these organizations, to contribute, donate.
Well, it
join.
would be all business owners there. Business owners looking at the different organizations, and the organizations don't, they want to give tchotchkes away, free pens, whatever, they can do that too. But, if they're business owners and they're trying to recruit, Chamber's always trying to recruit,
American Legion? Are you there?
Have it there. I don't know if that'd be big enough.
No.
Plus then we'd have to cater it.
Hey, you got a small. So do I.
Anyway, thoughts, you guys have thoughts on that? Yeah, leave it at that, so. At some point, we're gonna try to move forward. with
No, I think,
Some kind of.
I think March, April makes sense. Why don't you and I see if we can get a narrative together and then kind of bring back these folks to look at, and then, because I like the idea of the tables as well. I think that is a good idea. And I was thinking too, is maybe even have, maybe the athletic director or something else, maybe somebody from the high school.
Yeah,
because-
we're not limited, anything that you think. Being in front of small businesses, obviously, all the programs too, the.
Well, how about at the fairgrounds? One of those buildings.
Like I said, we're just preliminary,
Okay.
that's not a bad idea. But
I have. a
then you're
actually
looking at the
interested in a
catering and
full
all
rodeo
that
ring.
kind of stuff, you have it at the thing. They can put the finger foods out, you can get drinks there.
But we get a caterer just as easy. And you don't have to do anything there either.
Yeah, just thoughts, like I said.
Yeah.
So I got restaurants that we get all sorts of catered from now. Like call some favor.
So if you have ideas, maybe do a email chain. Anybody have ideas, want to throw it out there, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that, any thoughts? I mean, but what I wanna do. Is to get businesses in town. Right, we were there a few years ago.
business to business.
Yeah, business to business, whether, it'd be great to get somebody from Comcast there because you get complaints all day long, but. You get some of the big companies, maybe send a representative, Eversource and all that kind of stuff. And if they have to cut, maybe they even have a table there, but, and then you have all the rest of
Be
the.
careful, we'll have a special charge on our bill for the cost of the food. Like that one, Vince?
So, just stuff like that, just all. You guys, if you have ideas, throw them out there, but that was a preliminary thought, that's just gonna happen 4 months ago, but. Like I said, like bits in a way, but.
Commissioner appreciation night. I think we should have that, and I think we should throw that idea in front of all of them.
How many people do we normally get for that, Chris? Do you remember?
Usually probably 40 to 50.
You could do it in the barn if you want, farm.
We're
I handle
talking
40,
a different
45
event.
people for barbecues there all day long.
Mhm.
Bathroom and everything else, we can handle it all day. So at least it's somewhere to
It-
showcase
Would it,
another
would,
business.
would
in
it, would
town.
it, would it be too chilly at this point to do it in the barn, do you know, or?
This time of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably in the spring.
If they normally we do it somewhere in try to do the beginning of the year, but I mean, I had some informal discussions with Julie from the Connecticut Art Studio as well, that she'd host something.
Maybe we do an appreciation event for the largest taxpayer.
Yeah, that's the other option as well. Yeah.
Just a little thank you for doing what you do in Berlin.
Thanks, Eversource.
The only reason why we can't have it. Where we've been having it for the last 2 years. There's no personal touch to it at all. I mean, the mayor gets up and speaks, Chris gets up and speaks, and.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, no, and kind of what the idea was with Julie would be is. Okay, everybody, if they desire, they can come in and they can take a wine glass, paint a wine glass. again, thanks for doing it. We then would get a couple local restaurants to do food. And so that's kind of how far my brain has got. I think Tony and Mark would consider sponsoring the food. I have not talked to anybody yet about the booth.
I think you're
We're
risking
In
it.
in the restaurant,
What's that?
in the restaurant.
If we get food, because I was thinking just finger food, so you get
Oh, yeah.
I've
the
never tried it.
pepperoni rolls or whatever they are, the pepperoni bread from the Avenue. We get something from Hop House,
What's
something
the other
from
one, Jambo?
Basically, it's the location.
Offset, and then I got.
Yeah.
Who made it?
Because anytime you get,
You got a big stick burner now, right?
because anytime, someone spoke, thanking the commissioners and so
Yep.
forth. It was nothing personal about it, you couldn't even hear the people speak.
Yep.
And the people were very nice at the bar that own it, were very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It worked down, anything we asked, sure, we stepped up.
Yep.
No
Yeah,
question.
we're looking at, I'm thinking probably late February is kind of what we're thinking. Normally we've done it January, February. But I can solidify that with her, get back to you guys, but I know.
Where is that place?
Oh, Connecticut Art Studio is right across from Hop House. It's in the
Is
second
that big
building.
enough?
Yeah, she can hold like 50 people.
Really?
Yep. Yep, and then there's actually a spot in the back there where you can put the food and the beverages, et cetera, and
We do a couple of.
That's most like it.
we could.
One for
That's cool.
commissioners, one for business.
Were you able to talk to, EOT? Like grass cutting and so forth?
I have not had the ability to know.
One of my clients' sons. That big DOT and I hit it for Christmas.
The thing
I
is,
don't know about, I'm gonna see what he could do.
Yeah.
I'm like, somebody's gonna get killed over there.
it's twofold, okay? I mean, obviously, everyone knows I own property there, but I have to also say that that whole section of the highway is ignored, okay? DOT grooms Route 9, okay? And they don't cut the grass even on anything south of Route 9 on the turnpike. And there's no lighting, okay? It's kind of strange that they're saying, okay, maybe if something happens down there, we'll come and do something to that area, but it is totally ignored. Okay, in the case that they did show up right away is when the sight line was so overgrown that you couldn't see up
Did
the
the
road.
state end up doing it that one time?
I think so.
I know I made a call a couple of years ago and told them that I almost saw an accident, so just gonna let the town know if something happens, there's a precedent set. They Came out cutting a week later.
Yeah, I saw something there that I'll never forget. A lady jet across the road from the east side of Middletown Road when all the traffic was going by.
Oh, no.
I swear to God, I
Come down the
was,
hill on Middletown across?
yes, she was at the light and I don't know what she was thinking. And tractor trailer must have missed her by 3 feet. Okay, I don't know what she was thinking or.
Not accidents right there.
Oh, yeah, but this was something like. She went in between traffic. Okay, and I couldn't believe what I saw, and I'm glad I didn't see, huh?
Glad you followed.
Oh, gee.
Well, listen, you've been up there, but I mean, how many times have we been sitting on the side of the turnpike, the light turns red and they. Boom, 3 seconds, 4 seconds after the light's red.
Intersection.
Okay, the worst, to let you know, it's almost happening. You're coming under Route 9, Worthington Ridge, and they got the down ramp there. You know what I'm talking about?
That's Mickey Finn?
Yeah, off 9,
Right, so you're coming down Worthington Ridge from Turnpike, you can take a right to go to movies, you go under the bridge,
Mhm.
then there's that down ramp. People hit that light when it turns red, your light turns green to go right.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And people just come down that ramp doing
Straight
100
across.
miles an hour right across, and if you go out and don't see it. I remember many years ago, and somebody missed me by this much.
Listen, I've come in at 1:32 in the morning from rodeos off that ramp coming out of Lake George. And had those people come straight across the ramp, straight down like to the Berlin Turnpike. Across that road.
So,
He's right.
That's a really bad.
Yeah,
And I'm 50 feet,
But I
lit
think
up with
that's the-
chicken lights on that
it's
truck
the
and they
trend.
still don't see me.
Everybody's in a hurry, but the state should, if the state realized that, they would hold that light another 2 seconds. Right, so it doesn't turn green for another 2 seconds. You actually have to sit there and it's red, then, you know what I'm saying? But-
yeah, but anyway, Middletown Road, you gotta sit there and make sure they're stopping both directions.
Yeah, that's a crazy
Yeah.
image.
I don't know if this lady was suicidal.
I
bet you,
Deming Road.
almost one week in that interesting, I can see him from the kitchen.
She must have been quite the
That
failure,
makes it
because she couldn't even complete the task.
It was almost like I was saying, her, I saw her go by, she was like in her
Yeah, they're done.
thirties, it was almost like she was late for.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, aye. Opposed,
Oh, no, I think we should stay here long.
Good night, good night. Thank you, Vince.
All right, good night.
Hey, Vince.
Good night.
Thank you.